It's a Dumbledore, a double single door. Dumbledore. All right. Yeah. Cheap and easy way to panel the inside of a panel door. For this project, we need to have the illusion of shiplap. I didn't want to panel the barn door with like nickel gap shiplap or tongue and groove. I didn't want to go through all of that extra labor because this is going to be a painted door. If I was going to stain it, this technique probably wouldn't work because my lines would be a lot darker. So another reason I like this in a door versus separate strips is this is going to be painted and wood moves. So with shiplap, as it moves and say part of that tongue and groove or nickel gap isn't painted, you're going to see whatever color the wood is as it moves. Laminate's not going to move. It's going to look like shiplap, and there's going to be zero wood movement. I wanted the illusion of multiple boards stacked together to make one big panel. This was just the simplest, easiest way to do it. That's why I picked this method. So all I did is put a chisel tip in my router. Let me make sure that's the right terminology. Chisel tip. Chisel tip. Precision Pro V-groove. So I just did a V-groove bit. Got a brand new one because we're using laminate and it's nice and smooth. So added that in my router. I did some test cuts. You can just barely feel it. I mean, it is just barely over the edge. So you can make a bigger V, wider nickel gap. I like the look of this. It's nice and clean. But let me show you how I did it. So I already figured out the math. It's going to be a 3/4 inch into the rails and stiles. And my rails and stiles are 4 inches wide. So I wanted the illusion of 4-inch wide planks connected. So I did 4 3/4 and then 4-inch spacing after that. But to get that, I had to figure out where my marks would go right here. So I couldn't make my marks right where the line's going to be because the center of my chisel tip is 1 3/4 inches. So I had to go 1 3/4 inches past my line, if that makes sense. So that way, so I got 1 3/4 inches all the way around, so it doesn't matter, you know, if I go this way, however. I mean, this is how I always hold it because it's comfortable, but then I've got my line every 4 inches. So let me flip it over and show you how I did it. This is my last panel, so I already know all the numbers. Just wrote them on this piece of wood. It'll be different for your project, but these are mine. Set my tape across one side, and I'm going to go 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23, 27, and 31. And then all I do is come over to the other side, and I've already marked them over here. But 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23, 27, 31. There you go. Boom. Handy little cheat sheet. Make sure all of the panels are the same. Then I take my Bora clamp. It's pretty fantastic. This locks and this locks. Perfect straight edge. I love it. So then I got all the spacing figured out. I just take my router, nice and tight against the edge. And I did find that if you twist the router at the beginning or the end, it makes a wider channel. So you just want to be careful of that. And I know I've showed you this before, but right hand, this is the direction the router should go. So with my router, if I was going this way, this would be the direction. Hopefully that helps. There we go. And I just blow the dust off. How nice and straight and neat that is. Then I just keep on cruising. You can see on this side, It's a little bit thicker because I didn't have it completely flat, but this is going to be covered inside the channel. So again, I just blow the dust off. Don't like anything along this or underneath that would affect how the router rolls across the straight edge. Want more tips like this? Like and subscribe. Line up my marks, clamp it in place, nice and solid. Love this. There's your shiplap wall. Got this scrap triangle. I just put a piece of sandpaper tight against the edge, and it cleans out the groove really well. It just takes 2 passes. Satisfying too. Then I'll lightly sand the top before I put everything together. So it's just going to sit in the bottom of the barn door. I already made the channels. You can get the idea of what that'll look like. Isn't that awesome? And then we're going to have an X across each of the 4. It's going to be a double single door.